After getting laid off, I come across a post when I'm looking for a new job. What sort of job is the most lucrative these days? There's a comment with the most likes in the comment section. Find yourself a sugar daddy, duh. My sugar daddy is already the CEO of a company even though he's only in his 30s. He gives me $100,000 every month. Not only is he handsome and caring, but he's also amazing in bed. Hoo boy, we can keep going around 7 times every night. Someone asks the commenter, how did you find such an amazing daddy? Last May, he was at a bar drinking his sorrows away after an argument with his girlfriend. I consoled him for a bit. That's how we ended up being together. He kept complaining that his girlfriend was like dead fish in bed, so he was already sick of her a long time ago. You know what men are like? Always going for excitement in life. My fingers curled around my phone slightly. Last May, I did get into a huge argument with my boyfriend, Brian Dicht. He never came home that night. The next morning, he returned while reeking of alcohol. I continue scrolling down the comment section, only to see the commenter posting a photo. See? I was acting all cute and whiny to him just now by telling him that I cut my finger when I was preparing a meal for myself. He agreed to drop by my place to keep me company tonight. In the photo, there's a diamond ring adorning the ring finger that has a plaster wrapped around it. That ring looks exactly the same as the set of engagement rings Brian and I have. At the same time, my phone starts ringing. Soon, Brian's voice drifts from the other end of the line. Bella, something came up in the company at the last minute. I'm not coming home tonight. When I heard Brian Dicht's familiar, gentle voice, I instinctively bit my lip. I tested the waters and said softly, Brian, I think my stomach's acting up. Can you come home and stay with me tonight? There were a few seconds of silence on the other end of the line. Then, he said, I'm sorry, Bella. There's some urgent stuff to attend to at the office. Have the maids make you some soup. If it still hurts, there's an antacid in the medicine cabinet. The call was cut off without hesitation, and the huge living room sank back into silence. Our wedding was in just a few days. I kept telling myself this was all just a coincidence. However, when I opened that social media post again, the new comments made my heart clench tightly. If you don't believe me, that's your problem. No matter how devoted a man is, deep down he's still ruled by what's below his waist. They're getting married in a few days, but he's still coming over to be with me tonight. By the way, he used his connections to quietly get his girlfriend laid off at work. Why? So I could take her spot. She's unemployed now, and he only gives her $20,000 a month. I get $100,000. I stared fixedly at those words. My mind replayed the scene from last week after I got fired. HR only said it had been a decision from upper management, and they gave me no other explanation. Out of the entire department, I was the only one who was let go. I'd stumbled home in a daze. Brian had held me and whispered comfort into my ear. It's okay. I'll give you $20,000 every month from now on, so you don't even have to work anymore. I hate seeing you so exhausted. I told him I had my own dreams and a career I cared about. I didn't want to be some pet he kept in a gilded cage. He had just smiled, and his words had sounded so sincere. I have plenty of money anyway. Whatever you want, I can give it to you. Everything I have is for you and you alone. Only for me, huh? I tapped into the profile of this young woman named Evelyn Beach with trembling hands. The first thing I saw was a photo. It was captioned, Day 362 of being spoiled by daddy. We went to the amusement park today. He's in line getting me ice cream. In the picture, a tall man stood at the end of a line. I only needed a single glance to be 100% sure it was Brian. I kept scrolling. Day 300 of being spoiled by daddy. They got engaged today, and I picked out the ring. He gave me the matching band and said he wants us to be together forever too. To this day, I could remember the way Brian looked when he slid that engagement ring onto my finger. He'd kissed the back of my hand, and his eyes had been full of tender warmth. He'd said, Bella, we'll be together forever. We'll never be apart. It turned out he'd said the exact same words to another woman. Day 198 of being spoiled by daddy. He took me to a concert. I could never get tickets before, but he pulled some strings and got them. He even got me a signed poster. I was so thrilled I almost cried. The picture showed 2 ticket stubs for my favorite singer's concert. I remembered how crushed I'd been when I couldn't snag any tickets. Brian had said he would try to figure something out, and I'd waited with a heart full of hope. In the end, nothing had come of it. Clearly, it hadn't been a challenge for him. He'd just chosen to give the tickets to Evelyn instead. The more I read, the harder I trembled. My finger flew down the screen until I hit the last entry. Met a total